I'll let you walk in. If you decide to go to another next door, then I'll open another one for
Yeah, well,
you.
I'm the crazy lady who
No, no, no.
jumps in on this stuff,
It's
and
good, good.
well, I love it. I mean, obviously, it's a topic that has no closed ends.
No, no, no. And
You know, it can't.
and as we, still receiving meditation or manifest, we get new information, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
we're constantly getting new information, and oftentimes we're recycling old information with a new point of view
Yes.
that we have from having had another experience. Yes.
Yes. And like you mentioned about, because I mentioned to you about I took some substance like similar to mushroom, and then I kind of look at my phone, and my phone become like a, how do I say that? Like a time, like I'm watching a movie, but it's not video, it's just a picture.
Yeah,
So my picture, I see myself from younger self to older self. It's strange.
that's the beauty of hallucination. It's
Yeah,
strange.
so it's like it's very strange, and I believe just like what you mentioned, because you kind of went a higher frequency or higher level of vibration, and you become the observer. You see, view view
Yes.
down.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
what I did. I observed myself from a point of being on the ceiling to that person lying on the floor,
Right.
and knowing that that person on the floor wasn't dead,
Mm.
really per se, but because there I was living,
Mm-hmm.
while seeing the what I like to call the shell that I had just left.
Yeah.
Like that's death. Death to me is transition. It's not some end.
Yes, I
You know,
believe so as well.
yeah.
Since
If
we both experienced our family, passing, I
recently,
kind of feel that way already. Yeah, and but you also mentioned you also observe your dear dog, but
my boy, yeah,
yeah, but the dog is already crossover, right? To
right.
transition. Yeah. Were you were how were you were in a meditation mode or
Oh, my son and I were sitting at my well, we were sitting out in the living room eating dinner,
uh-huh.
and we both at the same time, without we weren't even talking about my dog. There was
Oh.
no conversation. We were just watching a movie and eating dinner.
Mm.
And I saw, not just out of the corner of my eye, but I saw Zeus, who was my dog,
Mm-hmm.
walk through the door.
Wow. And he saw your son saw it too.
Was about a minute or two goes by, and he stops the movie,
Hmm.
and he looks at me. He said, he goes, uh, "You're gonna think I'm crazy." He said, "But did you just see Zeus walk through that door?"
Oh.
And I went, "Yeah."
Yeah.
At the risk of sounding, nuts,
Hmm.
it's like I said, "Yeah." He just walked through, and he had described something he had done as he was coming through the door. That
Is it
just reinforced it with me because I saw what Zeus had done. He did a thing with his head. He flicked it or something, but we had both seen it. So when he said that, and we hadn't discussed it, it was
mm-hmm.
like, yeah, okay, it's happening. It was real. You saw exactly what I saw. We didn't even talk about it until we
Mm.
talked about it.
Wow.
But
Yeah.
it was just really, it was a trip. It's just
Yeah, so then besides what we just mentioned, we're observer, but your Jesus story is kind of like there's a different dimension somehow.
Well, yeah, it was like he was in between. He didn't want to go.
Uh-huh.
He didn't want to move on until he knew I was completely safe because that's how German
Mm,
shepherds
oh,
are.
that is so Sweet.
It is, and he was the sweetest boy
Yeah.
ever. We all have our favorite dog, but
Yeah.
Zeus was a special dog for me. He was just one of those special. It was like he came to me, even though I chose and paid for him. Uh, he came to me.
It's
You
just
know,
like, yeah.
he healed a lot of broken parts inside of me.
It's just like what we mentioned in the very beginning, certain people we connect just automatically, and certain people we
And I think
disconnect,
and I
right?
think those are being of any
Being.
sort where there's when anything is capable of any kind of communication,
Hmm.
that's possible.
Yeah.
And we all know dogs love. If you
Yeah.
don't know that a dog is capable of loving you or
Mhm.
somebody else, I don't you must be living on a different planet, or
Yeah.
you just choose not to believe,
Yes.
because you want to maintain your superiority over animals, and you know
Yeah.
but they're totally capable of loving you, and when they show it, and they show it in different ways, and like
Hmm.
here's Zeus showing he still loves me after he's gone.
Yeah.
His physical presence isn't here, uh
But spiritual.
except for his ashes. I have his ashes.
At your house?
Oh yeah, they
Oh, wow.
sit on top of one of my stereos.
Yeah, you should show me next
I
time.
will. And his urn, I
Hmm.
had no idea. I just paid
Yeah.
to have him cremated, and then the remains brought to me. Well, they sent him back in an urn that looks exactly like my house.
Oh my God.
It's
Really?
I mean, this color's not. uh, it's just it's a different color. It's not odd or anything, but it's a gray blue, and it's got this certain more blue than gray, so it looks a certain way. And then I also I have white trim, and
Hmm.
I got Zeus's urn, and the house is shaped just like mine. The windows look just like my house.
Wow.
Uh, it's got that blue gray paint with white trim, and it's amazing. It's like,
Mm.
how did this happen? I didn't tell them anything about my.
Yeah. Hmm. It's in Jesus' mind too.
But
That's
and
yeah.
that's really really a trip, because Zeus was really at home. You know,
Yes.
Zeus
Hmm.
was not only at home in the urn, but now he's home in the urn in the home.
Yeah. Home inside a home. Yes.
It was it blew it, so many little things like that with Zeus
Yes.
happen. See him through the door. There's a lot of experiences, but
Yeah. Synchronicity.
yeah, those two things just,
Hmm.
and it's there it is, that's that linear thing of love, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes.
and I believe love. Uh, I think you find one real love in your life, and it changes through different incarnations.
Yes.
These That's been my experience, that I can connect in certain states of mind with
Hmm.
a love that I know, and that I know is real, and I know is deep, and I know has always been there.
Yeah.
So how do I know that? How do I know what love is, in that respect?
Mhm.
Because I think that when we go into that spirit world of love, now we're in a whole new topic, but it's different, you know,
Yeah.
and it's not infatuation. And
Mhm.
my sense is that it continues to deepen the longer you exist. It's like,
Yes, you
wow,
kind of carry on to your next life
yeah.
or next dimension, whatever you
You
call
got
it.
my brain is now on fire, and I'm starting to think about all kinds of stuff.
See, I opened a door for you like this.
Well, yeah, and this has been
Mm,
one of my favorite subjects for
long time.
45 years.
For me, I just started.